Boom, boom. Okay. Hello. Hello. It's Monday, and welcome to In the Closet with Amy Goodhart. I am in the closet right now. I'm actually in a dark hole with very bright lighting, and I was going to get dressed up for this really special guest of mine who I adore, and I wanted to look cute on the stream right now, but it's been a busy day, and so I didn't change. I look just like a normal middle-aged lesbian on a Monday. Anyway, today's show, we're going to talk about 10 dating apps. Probably popped my mic there. 10 dating apps exposed. And how do we know this? Because a dear friend of mine has actually been on 10 dating apps. I have not been on that many. I'm not a virgin to dating apps, but I'm probably the only Gen X person I know that has not used Tinder. Anyway, this is going to be a fun show because the incredible woman that I'm about to introduce, Maria Gonima, is an entrepreneur. She is a badass. She is an international businesswoman. She is stunning. She is successful. She is the smartest person I've met. Yeah, let's talk about all of the sauciness to get over this Monday, the Monday vibes. Let's talk about some saucy things. And in order to assist, we instructed each other for this video to drink some bubbles. So welcome, Maria. Oh, there you are.
Well, hello. Oh my goodness. I wasn't sure where my frame was going to land. So that worked. Oh no, it doesn't work. Where am I going? I'm like,
yeah, it's Monday. It's there, like the most, this is the most Relaxation Nation relaxing stream ever. You've been working your ass off all day.
We're in the Relaxation Nation. I prepared.
So cheers. I'm drinking bubbles, Monday night bubbles. Cheers. I'm using a fancy glass. I'm using like a fancy, look at the condensation on those.
And I was like, I'm going to get spooky.
Ooh, I like it. Well, it's Halloween month. How are you, stunning, gorgeous, amazing person?
I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for the incredible introduction. I hope I amount to any of those to one things.
You have a spooky glass to drink out of, and I have kind of like a spooky like my background. I don't know. I didn't dress up for you. I'm sorry. It's been a long day, but you know,
Monday.
It's a fucking Monday. And speaking of fucking, I'm just like, I was just on a meeting on a Zoom, and I was like, let me finish up my business for the day so that I can have a drink and talk to you about something really fun.
Relaxation Nation. We'll talk about a topic that stresses me the heck out. We can curse.
It's a funny topic, and a lot of people, use dating sites, and I have learned vicariously through all of these insane stories. And some of them are insane, like amazing insane.
Yeah. Fun insane. There's like the fun insane, and then
there's the fun insane, and then there's just like the cuckoo birds out there. But it's 2022. We're getting to the end of 2022. 2020 happened. Everyone was stuck at home in their computers. Dating apps became, well, what's the point? We're not actually going to meet because of COVID, but people were signing up to them more and more because of being lonely and chatting and whatnot. You have had, and I would like you to just kind of throw out there to our viewers a little about yourself.
Okay. Well, the basics are...
while I drink.
You really... Oh, yeah. Drink up. You really gave a lot of it away. No spoilers. But basically, fun fact, when I was coming of age, I read a ton of paper magazine, and Amy Goodhart was absolutely, without a doubt, my inspiration to become this form that I am today. So compliments back, right back at you. This wouldn't be
Thanks,
anything
girl.
without Chew, because I just remember reading about the wildest parties in New York and just being like, who the heck? And then when I met Amy, I was like, I read about you a gajillion times in paper, among other
New
things.
York represent, yeah, with
Oh
my
my
tits
goodness.
out, probably.
Yeah, probably so. And I was like, that's who I want to be. And now I'm just so lucky to have you be my
Everyone's
friend.
Googling paper magazine. Yes. If you don't know, you should know.
You remember? Well, they came back when they broke the internet with the ass
Kim,
picture of Kim Kardashian.
yeah, right? Yeah. No, but paper magazine I have been in many times in my former life as a showgirl in New York City and a New York nightlife presence, I guess.
She was the showgirl of the universe. She
I
remains to
was
be
the
the
showgirl of the
showgirl
universe.
of the
Exactly.
universe.
Despite what you would think looking at me right now in a Edward Scissorhands vintage ripped t-shirt and a bad hair day. But
Such a good show. So more,
but
I guess, yeah. So started
yeah.
in music, tried to be, emulate the club life, club scene, but I was in the humble town of San Antonio, Texas. Then bumped over to Austin, learned how to book shows officially as an adult. Whoops, there's my chair. Moved over to San Francisco after graduating college. Yes, that's right. Kill it in post. Moved over to San Francisco, had a blast. Forgot that you could actually move away when things started getting weird. I was touring as a DJ. I was booking a lot of shows. I was working at newspapers and just media, all out media education in San Francisco. Then bumped over to Los Angeles, where I grew up and started working at a cable television network. I've also been in bands, but the majority of the last decade has been mostly working and then building my empire. So, I've worked at Hulu. I've worked at a company called Fullscreen. I've worked with top influencers and creators. And then worked in philanthropy with the Annenbergs, worked in VR, got to do a bunch of cool launches. And then I started my own firm. So I do PR and marketing as Big Smile Co.
Just that. Just those little, just that. Just international businesswoman.
And then somehow managed to date using these apps. It's the only way, really. I hope there are people out there that relate, but it's almost the only way these days.
See, I think this show, I mean, In the Closet, it's all about secrets and it's all about divulging and spilling the tea and telling our shit about things. And I find it fascinating. This is what I find fascinating. I find like straight dating rituals interesting. So much that I started watching what's the reality show? I started watching Love Island. Is it Love Island?
Oh, Love Island.
No,
wow,
no, not Fantasy Island. Love Island. No, I'm wrong. Bachelor in Paradise.
Classic.
I was binging up to like season 3, I think, of Bachelor in Paradise. And I was like, what? Like, this is like, I just felt so like, what is it? And it's but it's fascinating and funny to me.
A lot of like, it's peacocking. It's all peacocking. It's just like, look at my fake boobs, look at my abs.
But people don't really date like that. No. If you're on a dating app and you're like, hey, this is who I am, this is who you are, let's meet up and let's go out, blah blah blah, you suggest a date. Now all dating apps are different. Some are free, I guess, some you pay for. I heard is Bumble the one that women can only message first, right?
So that's the one where women message first, and it's supposed to be some sort of like feminist exercise, but I don't think it is at all.
But do they have a lesbian?
They
Bumble?
do. Yeah.
So
who goes first?
So nobody goes first. So nobody messages.
I don't know the deal on that one, but I imagine it's
But it's a big business. there's tons of apps, and you're like, let me go for it. If I'm going to try it, I'm going to try all of them and if I'm going to be out there, you're like, let me, be out there. So let's talk about apps.
Goodness. Okay, well, yeah, what I forgot to do, and I told myself I was going to do, was write them all down. But I think this could be a fun journey for us, because I'll start remembering some of the stories that I've told you.
Let's talk about some of the apps, and then if anyone watching this has been like, yes, been there, done that. Okay, Hinge,
done it.
We know, great ad campaign. I know the girl who does the voiceovers.
Oh, you froze for a second. Oh, that's so funny. She has like the vocal fry.
Right. I actually met the voiceover actress who does the Hinge dating app commercials. Great ad campaign.
Yeah.
Hinge. Is that, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how popular is Hinge? Is it very popular?
I would say it's popular enough that I know people have met each other on there and continued dating. But it's not popular enough to have a large enough swath of gentlemen for me to consider. I will say that.
Interesting. So that's one. Bumble, we talked about.
Yeah. So
okay,
I'll go back to say Hinge.
Let's go through all of the apps so that we can debunk them or give them a shout out. So we have Hinge, Bumble,
I have a one-liner.
Tinder.
Wait. Let me go back. I want to go back. This is urgent.
Yeah.
I found a one-liner that I think is necessary to say. Hinge is where I met the most unhinged of men. They were the most unhinged, like, wow.
Like crazy, like Kanye vibes, like wackadoos. We can go there. I don't care.
Yeah, I think there's like one of the Frenchmen, then the Brit. I mean, just some crazy Emirates.
What are some of the other apps? Okay, that you've tried.
Yeah, so if we go through the whole list:
Hinge, Bumble, Unhinged, Bumblebees,
Hinge,
Tinder,
Bumble, Tinder, OkCupid.
Okay, stupid. That's one of the apps that I did. Out of the two apps that I've done, 3 apps. Okay, stupid. Okay,
that's amazing. Field, which was once known as what was it called? Thrinder, because it was for thruples or
thruple.
It was for thruples, but it was like, for what do they call that? Threesomes.
Swingers.
Yeah, it's for swingers, but it's like, it's if you want to be the unicorn, if you want to be the, you want to be in a threesome, if you're in a couple, all these different things. So yeah, I mean, but I didn't join it for that purpose. I didn't join it for that purpose, but it's also just the most, I think, like, sexually open. Like, everyone's very open to discuss their preferences, and sometimes you just want to cut to the chase.
It'd be a good one if Field. What are some of the dating apps that are for like wealthy people? Like, there's one called.
So there's what is that one called? Why am I forgetting?
Isn't there one that's like, it's like you're elite, you're the top of the creme de la creme, whatever the creamy what. But there is one that's
The League.
The League. Okay. If there was one that was like the Field and the League put together, were just like a really wealthy. No, I'm saying, like, if like a wealthy married couple that had like an actual like healthy relationship and a huge house in Malibu could just like bring you in.
Sounds highly.
That could be like the League and the Field put together. That would be. I mean, there's everything. What else?
Let's see. Okay, so Raya,
which is like a cult. We'll talk about Raya.
Talkify. I think there's one called The List. How many is that?
I don't know. I saw one. I Googled the one that's called Bagels and Coffee, or Coffee and Bagels.
Yeah,
do you know that one?
Done that one? Yeah, I do.
I Googled that. I thought, what the heck? And then there's one called Too Many Fishes, or Fishes in the Sea. Too Many Fish. fishes in the sea, too many fishes. Jesus, you're probably thinking I didn't do my research for this, but I actually did. You can see on the thumbnail.
Yes, so too many fish.
Too many fish.
Coffee meets bagel. There you go.
Coffee meets bagel. Too many fish. Facebook has a dating app. Is it called something, or is it just like the Facebook and Tinder?
It's like a dating button. There's another one called Happen, where you happen to cross paths. That one is that one was kind of fun, I will admit.
That sounds kind of British, like I just happened upon you.
There are others that I haven't tried, like Zeus or eHarmony or Match.
You haven't tried Match?
I have not.
Match is very OG.
Yeah, I think
very like.
So this is the funny thing. A lot of them are owned by the same company, and those are facts that I love. Like Match Group owns JDate, and do they own Tinder? I think they own Tinder now. I'm not 100%. They own Match, obviously. I think they maybe own eHarmony. I should know better, but people in the comments destroy me for not knowing my facts.
Interesting. Well, I was on Raya, and
I was also on it. It was a miserable experience.
And you have to be invited to be on Raya. It's like the Soho House of dating apps, and it's exclusive, and it's whatnot. Celebrity.
I only met one person I liked after that.
I think you're the one that invited me to Raya. I really do. I feel like that's how I got on there.
Oh, I don't recall.
Right? How did I apply for it, or did you
were on it without me?
I thought you told me about. I don't know, but it wasn't successful.
You got some stories.
And then I was on a dating app in between relationships called Her, which is a lesbian and female dating app, and it's so complicated. It's just like the app is everyone's just overthinking things, and there's so much like kind of categories of are you the gray and this and demi and sepia, and there's so many things, and then there's like literally 11 women. Like when I put my filters on, and I was very generous with how I filtered looking for my searches on there. It was like, I want somebody who's a grown up, I want somebody who's like an adult woman, and that I have things in common with. But it was like the same 11 people that I kept seeing over and over again. And I was like,
that's how I felt about Raya. It just wasn't enough humans.
It wasn't enough fish in the sea.
No.
Or bagels for the coffee. Coffee for the bagel.
Coffee couldn't meet the bagel.
But you haven't, like, for people who are like, oh, this sounds depressing right off because we're kind of laughing about them, but you've dated like oil tycoons.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many stories. Like
mogul. Would you say a mogul?
I've called, like, one was, I call him my oil man. And then I've gone from oil man to electrician. Like, there's really the vast span. And I'm like, I
have seen, if not, I've only met a few in the time. We've been friends for a few years now, and I've only met a few. But I've seen photos of some of the gentleman callers, and damn, they're hot. There's some hotties out there. What filters?
I'm very lucky, and they tend to stick around for a little bit at least. So that's good.
Like, you dated some like celebrity lookalike style.
Well, I think the way
can we say we can't say who the we can't say who the actors are. Okay, who have you dated? Who are the actor lookalike? Who have you dated that? And I will attest, seriously, straight up, looked like as hot as these. And I'm a gay woman telling you how hot this man is. Like, that's how you know.
It spanned a lot of things, like Jason Momoa and
Jason Momoa.
and Jude Law.
Paul Newman, Jude Law.
Who else?
Yeah, like men that look like that.
Yeah. It's just hilarious. Yeah, I feel like at least glad to have met these fine gentlemen. In a lot of cases, they're not keepers necessarily, but maybe I wasn't a keeper either. But I read a story recently about dating for the story, because like and I've actually tried to pull myself out of this. Like, I definitely have for the last few years dated for the story. Like the oil man, we went on a date. Comical. So I was in Texas visiting my family, and I think they were concerned for my life, because at one point I just like didn't go home. I didn't answer the phone. I was just in my own little world, because I met this guy who worked in oil, and I don't necessarily support the oil industry, but he was also working towards clean energy and all that. So don't cancel me, please. And and ultimately, like, he was very, very handsome. And he's just sort of an unknown baller. And I don't, like I said, I don't require all that much. I just want honesty and kindness and snuggles. And that's really it. Because the truth is, and this is more specific, like, I am grateful. I've already been married, so I don't have to check that box. And I don't intend to have children, so I don't have to check that box. And I feel for a lot of people who do have that pressure that they want to get to these milestones. And at this point, I already done did it. So I just date to date and hopefully find a human that will love me. But in the interim,
so I mean, the oil tycoon is amazing. I mean,
but there's more.
I've heard there's so much more. There's so much more.
Let me finish that story, because basically, yes, my parents were.
Please tell the story.
Yeah, my parents were concerned for my life. Like, we'd gone to a restaurant to meet, had a drink there, went over to a bowling alley, bowled, went over to another golf thing, golfed, went over then to a resort where we were in the hotel lobby bar. He dropped like $300 every single shot. And it was like whiskey, hard whiskey. And then he was like, oh, my plane leaves in like 3 hours. Do you want to sleep in my resort hotel room? Because I'm going to leave anyway.
Sorry, I'm just rewinding, because I'm like here with my $16 champagne.
Same from a can.
Champagne in bubbles. $300 shots? Like the, okay.
Of whiskey. Yeah. Yeah.
Baller.
He had no sense of limitations. I was like, it was a certain point where it's like, it's not about me. It's not about the fact that it's me on this date. It's about the fact that he just wants to enjoy these $300 shots with another human. I was like, I will be that human. Okay.
You're like, right here.
We're in this now.
Take one for the team.
Yeah. And then what my favorite thing.
Okay, so and then he had a flight, like,
yeah, he had to bail.
After that,
like, I ended up just like sleeping in at the golf resort. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous golf resort. Slept in, big comfortable bed. It was awesome. But yeah, my family, it was so funny because they actually met him on video chat when they were like, are you okay? And I showed them the plush environs, and they were like, what on earth are you doing? But I feel like at this point also,
you involve your parents in this
again.
You're like, hey, mom and dad, check this out.
I
love it.
But at that point, again, like, and I actually had this really legitimate conversation with them that I so appreciate, because I was like, hey, like, I might not have another partner to introduce you to. Maybe that's just not the path for me. And they were like, it's okay, have fun. I'm like, what? It's the opposite of what I ever imagined. But I'm so grateful for that. So yeah, maybe my life will just include going on dating apps and dating for the story. because it's kind of fun. But love is nice and affection's nice and consistency is nice.
But you're living your best life. I mean, you really are like dating. I mean, you're young, you're beautiful, you're successful. And so, it's like the ball of the universe is in your court. And I think that that's really cool that
I
you're,
might.
you know,
I
you're,
might.
you're going, through that. Have you ever met someone that you connected with on a dating app, like more intellectually or in a personality way, but you looked at their photos and you were just like, oof, but you just decided to like text or sexting? Or have you ever just kind of had a like a like relationship with someone because you liked who they were, but you didn't think physically you could be attracted to them?
So honestly, the answer is no. Like if I'm philosophically, like mentally connected to somebody, I would want to give it a chance. I don't really like. I have standards, obviously, but
Yeah, and that's why all of your ex-boyfriends look like Paul Newman, Jude Law, Jason
they're also
Momoa.
super smart. Okay, they're super smart. They're not just eye candy. But I think and talented to boot. But I think there have been some cases where I've not been able to meet with somebody, and I don't know why we didn't quite meet up, but where the conversations went on for a long, 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 long time. Like there are still people that I've been texting for years and just now meeting or haven't met yet. And who knows? Like there's one guy
They're
that's
on the same apps, and just like a whole year will go by, and you're still
like
wow.
the guy that I kind of was into, which I shouldn't have been into because he was lying about who he was. He and I had spoken on
Don't like
and off.
liars.
Me either. That's the trend
Not
here
a
in Los
fan.
Angeles. Comment
Not a
about liars in Los Angeles or anywhere. Just like, why are people lying? It's so dumb because it's going to come out eventually. Obviously, they think it's just a short-term thing.
Yeah, bitch.
We're not stupid. But yeah, he was someone that I'd been in touch with for over a year. And so those are the things where it's disappointing once you actually do meet and you actually might have a connection that feels incredible and you've been texting for a while and then you realize that the person wasn't who they say. So it was just what I'll call fan fiction.
What are some of the
fan
most fan fiction? I hate liars. What dating app date, like I'm trying to think of, because I'm sure you've, and other people who have had blind dates can relate to this, like that were impulsive and fast. Like you saw someone, you were like, swipe, yes, okay, tonight, okay, sure, you're 5'10", what, yeah, boom. Like, and then we're completely like, who's he? What's it? Like, what?
I'm sure it's happened more than.
What was your most dating app blind date experience that you were impulsive and you met the person and you were like, what the shiz?
I'm sure it's happened a gajillion times. The most.
And how do you deal with that?
I don't even know where to start.
I want to, okay, first part of the question.
You see the engine cranking? Like, I'm like, yes. Oh, which one? There's so many. But that's why I created a model. Not that it's a good model necessarily, but it is something that says like, okay, don't meet with someone right away. Try to vet them, get their Instagram, make sure they're real human, find out anything that you can on their on a Google search. Make sure that they're telling you that their gig is the real gig. And I like that the same alarm that we're hearing is echoing.
I know. Yes.
This is very fun.
That's funny.
So
we might edit this out, but if not, Maria and I live so close to each other that the same police siren
sound is bouncing.
I don't think you'll hear it through my microphone, but the same police siren. That's how close we. Cheers! I love you so much, sis.
Cheers.
Cheers. Downtown
We'll take this
LA.
break. We'll take this alarm break.
We live in gritty
celebrate our love.
downtown LA, and lots of police. The popo.
My favorite thing. Okay, wait. So what I was saying. One, talk to them, make sure they're not crazy. The number one thing I'm looking for is like smart banter. If they don't know how to laugh about themselves or laugh about the world, then I don't want to talk to them. Two, ask for their Instagram. Make sure they're a real person. Sometimes they're not. It's crazy. That's almost immediately the thing that you can realize. And also, I tend to like guys that don't even have Instagram. So that's another challenging thing. Then you could just ask for their LinkedIn. Make sure that they're not lying about their profession. Then
what about married? Is like every separated guy like, oh, I'm divorced. I don't know. I mean, like,
no. Okay, but well, I don't know if you recall, but I was once called on the phone by a wife that was like, "Do you know so and so?"
Wait, I do know this story. Can you tell this story?
It's
but it's crazy. But if people,
it hurts my soul. It's a cautionary tale.
This is a okay. Ready? Boom boom. It's like a Law and Order. Boom boom. Boom boom. The dark side of dating apps.
I hated it. It sucks.
Here's a dark side right now, Maria.
I have a lot of dark stories, but I think, as they all say, it's a numbers game, and so you're gonna have to kiss some frogs. Blah, blah, blah. But this dude, I've never encountered something so awful. He is a married man with 2 children, and he lives in another town, but he was pretending that he lived in Los Angeles. And I'd done all the things. I went to his Instagram. I checked his work. I did all the things to make sure that he was not a liar. Ends up that he had like a double Instagram account. And he was not lying about his name, but definitely lying about where he lived. And so we'd gone on 2 dates. They were lovely. He was very handsome. I hope he doesn't see this. So he doesn't.
And this is from like an actual, like, legit dating app. This isn't like Craigslist missed encounters. This is This is a Bumble sitch.
Yeah, this one was Bumble. So like, I get a phone call, and I was dealing with another human at the same time. Like, I was dealing with another gentleman at the same time. That was like,
I'm sure really, he was handsome. And then what?
So I was like in a little argument with him, walking over to CVS, and then I get over to CVS, and I'm like, I'm getting a call. I gotta go. And then I answer the phone, and it's the man's wife saying, do you know so and so? And I was like, what? Oh yeah, like, is he okay? Because I was not sure what the call was about. And she said, well, this is his wife. And I have never felt that, like, head to toe, icy chill to that extent, because it's not in my interest to be with someone who's A, lying, B, married with kids and has a real, situation where there's an impact here. And the fact that she called me and said that to me, I was like, oh, okay. So obviously.
Had you been seeing each other, or were you just like chatting?
We hung out twice. Yeah.
Oh, so that's in person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so.
No bueno.
She even asked me like, oh, did you take him to this one restaurant? Like, was that you who took the picture? And I said, no, but I recommended that restaurant. And so obviously he was dating somebody else. This is what she said. So she said, oh, well, I guess he's dating someone else. Ends up that she says, we've kept in touch. Fun story. Yeah.
Rock so okay, good.
Random thing. I mean, I always want to help. I don't want to support the bad guy. I think
yeah.
Sure. So she called me. I texted her once when I saw that no, sorry. She called me and I said, I can text you. I can forward you some of the details that I received. basically, where he said he lived in LA. He said he didn't have kids. He said he wasn't married. The whole thing. Then I texted her later when I saw him on the app again. And she was like, oh man, like that one led to their divorce, as far as I understand. Because he did it again. And it ends up that she had a similar engagement or discussion with the other woman, and the other woman ended up falling for him, and they ended up reconnecting. Interestingly, before I quit Bumble recently, I saw him on that app again.
Boo.
Boo. Boo.
Boo. But I mean, personally, the part of the story that I do like about this is like you and the wife, Nancy Drew the fuck out of this dude and just be like, oh yeah, really? Oh, okay, boom. And
what's this guy think?
Can't there be a dating app? Okay. You work in the metaverse, you work in media, can't there be a dating app that is free? Checks if people are lying. Like, it's easy to look for somebody's like marriage records, right?
Right. Well, so
how do you, aren't there, or don't, is there any way that, because there's women, I mean, you're lucky you've been taken out to nice dinners and, you know, you've had funny dates, interesting dates, pie in the face dates, like, like you had, like, that's another story. But no, but people are like, what is that code for? It's not.
No, literally pie in the face.
But in a good way. But but there are women who and men, I'm sure too, just getting completely bamboozled by people on dating apps. I mean, there's like documentaries, right? The Tinder swindler, and there's so many stories of catfishing. But there's more dating apps than ever. And you know, I did do a little bit of research to see what is out there, but it's still very very kind of on the societal binary, I would say, as far as like there are gay dating apps and there are straight straight. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. Sorry, I need some more champagne.
That's when they say forward, never straight.
Hetero. No, but there are
Hetero.
Bless you, there's not that many. There needs to be a dating app for all, like a dating app for all, like something that is free, something that is, you know, whatever your gender identity, whatever your sexuality identity, and fill in all of those blanks. There's so many. There's poly. There's so many, and but has like a company behind it that can check and make sure that shit like that doesn't happen. That a wife is calling someone. How do they fix that? Oh, my lighting just turned like blue and orange. I don't know.
It looks great. No, it didn't change.
Very Halloween-y.
Oh, it just changed. Okay, yeah. No, but you still look fabulous.
It's kind of Halloween-y.
But I think so. There are two things that I think there. One is the privacy issues. I'm sure there are privacy issues where somebody wouldn't want that on record. And then two, the fact that there is so much nuance and there is polyamory, there is, you know, polygamy, polyandry, whatever the things are, or threesomes, or, you know, like that kind of thing. I imagine. Also, I guess third,
it would be the most successful dating app in the world because it would be not all of these little niches. It's just like everyone wants to get screwed. I don't know. Like
some people are looking for love.
No. Yeah, people are looking for love.
I am.
Are there dating apps for asexual people?
Yes, some of these apps do accommodate asexual identities. I think that's really great. Like, it is an option.
That's good.
And what's the other one? Demi? Like I think you
Mhm.
mentioned like they really do run the gamut, and I appreciate and love that. I think it takes somebody to be so self-aware to understand and be able to share that.
Yeah.
Because I have been in situations where I've been in a deep relationship with someone that was asexual but wasn't admitting of it.
Mm.
And I think that can also become damaging to the relationship.
Yeah.
That's again why I like Field so much, because it is about being open with your sexuality, with your sex positivity, and or if you are asexual, it allows you to say that. So I think, yeah, for me, if anything had
I
to
like
win,
that. I like Field.
yeah,
It sounds better. It sounds like better than her without all the sad
yeah. But the thing was, there weren't enough people on
people.
there, and I definitely had to vet some wild scenarios that I wouldn't have wanted to um, do.
Have you ever met a dater, been on a date with somebody who's like a surpriser? So I have a thing. I don't like being surprised. I really
What is
don't.
it? Like, in
I
what
just
way?
don't like, I don't know. I don't like, I like being the surpriser.
Right,
Like
you do.
I like, sorry, my microphone.
You
I
like
like being
giving, you like, yeah,
romantic. I
surprises.
like being thoughtful, coming up with elaborate dates. That's gotten me in trouble in the past, I would say, probably like even like spending money on things that's stupid.
Oh,
But I like being the surprise. But I don't like being surprised. I don't
yeah.
like, hey, I'm taking you somewhere this week. It's a surprise. That's all you need to know. I'll pick you up. But like, I'm like, what do I wear? What do I need? And some people would think maybe I'm a control freak, that I need to like know everything. But most importantly, what do you wear? And I don't know. But have you ever had somebody that you met on a date that kind of told you they were going to do one thing, or that they were planning the date, and then they surprised you with something that you were completely.
I kind of wish that I did have a story like that. Unfortunately, I end up being the one planning most things.
That's how
Um,
I am.
and I kind of love it when I'm not. And so that's like, yeah, that's the thing. So many people, I mean, a lot of it turns into, let's go to this bar, let's go Dutch, let's see how the rest of it goes. Like,
Mm.
and I don't mind that either. Like, I think I don't want to be one of those people. What do they call it? There's actually a term for people who are dating just for the meals. I actually have to look
There's
this
a
up.
term for that.
Yeah,
There's a term for that?
yeah.
Hungry. What?
I'm gonna look this up.
Hungry. You're hungry.
It might be.
I'm dating just for the meals.
Oh, okay. I'm so happy I looked it up.
I love
So
this. And is there an app for that? I'm sorry, my hair is out of control. What is it
there's a
called?
booty call. You've heard of a booty call.
Yes.
Well, this is a foodie call.
Are they like,
Absorb it. Absorb it.
I'm absorbing this. So
You're just in it for the food.
it's a
Like,
foodie call.
like, hey baby, wanna go to Dorsia?
I mean, that is kind of genius in a way if you do
Mhm.
really like food, but you don't want anything else. But I mean, is it like each party knows?
No, at
Like
that
they
point,
both
I
know?
think a lot of people like on
Or
the
they're
dating
like,
apps.
no, it was just a foodie call.
Yeah, dating apps in Los Angeles, a lot of guys are like, if you're going on a date with me just to go to Nobu, like skip it.
People say that.
Yeah, I'm like,
Fucking
okay,
Nobu
dude.
is fucking delicious, by the
Yeah,
way.
your first date probably shouldn't be Nobu.
Yeah.
Unless you got something to hide.
I went
Um,
on a date to Nobu,
yes, you did. Mm.
and the food is fucking delicious, and so is the sake. So I have that in my back pocket. But interesting. Yeah, I'm not a big dater. Um, I like being alone. I'm fascinated by hearing about your dates just because I don't know. It's just you put yourself out there in
I wish
this
I
like
had like a super cut.
huge.
I wish I did have a super cut because it would include like riding scooters and throwing pies in the face. And it just so happens the same person ended up being like throwing people in the pool and going bowling and then doing.
Well, you had in our friendship a couple years ago. Was this pre-COVID? Men in Black.
The Men in Black. Yeah. That was pre-COVID. No, yeah, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was before I went to New York. Yeah.
So I lived for this. Okay. Obviously, I'm a costume designer. I like surprises. I like all of this. There was a date situation that Maria told me about that involved costumes, and I was so excited. And as her neighbor and friend, or she said, we're going to be dressing up like this, and that, and we need suits and ties. And I was like, what? And can you tell me about the date? But I mean, or no?
Yes, of course I can. No, I absolutely can. But like,
I was all about this, but I was so excited for this date of yours because I was like, that's interesting. People be interesting, come up with interesting things, but there's a catch. Go on.
So there's a catch. I mean, it's bizarre. I still talk to this person because, nothing, no harm, no foul necessarily. It's just annoying. Okay. I don't even know where to start, but the idea was dress up in your finest finery, suits specifically, and then throw each other in the pool. Harmless, cute, fun. This was the first date, and I think we did it very successfully. And even if he hears this, I don't think he'd mind it so much. But hi.
I give him a thumbs. I'm giving a thumbs up on the idea of it, but it wasn't.
The idea is good. But here's the story. So here's the story. It ends up.
Everyone else has to hear the end.
That it was something that he had done not only with me, but that he had done with his ex-girlfriend, and something that he'd done with his next girlfriend. So I was not the girlfriend, but the next person was the girlfriend. They had done it. And then I met someone in the building who also dated this gentleman and also did it. And I don't think you know about this.
I don't know this.
So that's 4.
Does she live on my floor?
I don't think so. But I just love this. Like, what a wild. See,
that's the thing, guys and girls. If you have like a really great idea if you are dating and you have a great idea for a date, it's creative, it's sexy, it's like, let's dress up in a costume and jump in a pool and our clothes on. Like if you have, this role play thing, that's good. But for one person, it's not like a cookie cutter. It's not like a thing that you go, hey, that was fun. Let me do that same very specific role playing costumed date with multiple people because you're going to be found out like you just were. Boom.
Or fill them in.
Sorry.
Like, if I was filled in to know that this was like a repeat thing. I mean, for my ex-husband, for a lot of people I've dated, I've been like, oh, you went there with her. Like, don't be lazy. Just don't be lazy.
Yeah.
I when I'm trying to date, I don't take people to the same spot. And if I do, I like try to create new memories. It's not new memories. Don't be fucking lazy. Something that we did as the second.
Don't be lazy. Can we let's let that sink in. If you are watching this with my orange and blue and crazy lighting, Maria still looks beautiful and my light keeps changing.
I'm just green and yellow.
If you're watching and you take something away from this and you're dating on apps, don't be lazy.
Don't repeat things.
Humans, don't be lazy with other humans. You're going to be lazy. Be lazy in like stupid things. Like I eat cereal every breakfast because I'm lazy and I can't think of anything else to eat. Don't be lazy with like coming up with dates. Like the most romantic thing in the world is to be creative, I think.
Totally.
And
I've done things where it's like at the last minute, I choose to go to a bar that I've already been to nearby. And it's because first dates, I don't mind being kind of lazy because
the bartender's like, "Hey, Jeff," and you're like, "No, his name's Bill." Bobby, good to see you again. You got your hair? Bobby's like, "No," and you're like, "No, it's
a little
George."
bit. Yeah. I know he's thinking about my friend Julia. No, so it was not. It kind of did go down like that, where I'm like, he's just a friend. But ultimately, the vetting process is different than an extraordinary date. And the first time you meet, it is part of the vetting thing. In which case, I don't want to. I'm also very precious about my places. So like, I'm not gonna take somebody to my place. Like, that is my place. That is the place where I want something special to happen. Because I have also found out about guys who take their future dates to my place.
Oh shit!
Does that make me crazy?
No.
But
have I ever been to any of your places?
Yeah, we go to my places all the time. Because I love you. But I think so much. But I think the funny thing is, like, I know, because I do try to stay friendly with everyone I've gone on a date with. I am not a ghoster. I am not I like, if maybe that wasn't our time, maybe our time will be later, or maybe it will never be our time, but maybe that person will lead me to my next potential person. I never try to shut it up. Because it just doesn't make sense. If I like you for 5 seconds.
Well, you're smart and you're open to, and you always have like relationships of friends and work people, and like, you use it. You're sucking it to the system. If people want, this is how you do it on, using dating apps, because a lot of people probably get it wrong. I don't know. A lot of people get it wrong. Do you think dating apps in general are gaining kind of traction or popularity, or are they going down to down, and nobody cares anymore and nobody's going to pay? Like, people want to meet in real life, IRL.
I quit recently, and admittedly because I've met somebody who I like. Shout out. But
they're not going to watch this.
But yeah,
I know that their pronouns are he, him, but I say they, them a lot in general. I do. But
is it because he's the bearded lady?
No, it's yes, Maria, you got me. That's so good. No, I do use they, them pronouns in general. It's like, oh, what time is the FedEx person coming? I don't know. I think they get here around 2. Like, we use they, them pronouns a lot. But I know that you date of the male gender. And
that's right, I do.
Yeah. Have you ever dated outside of male men?
I've tried male men. I've dated milkmen, mailmen, handyman.
The bearded lady. Have you ever met a trans man that's hot?
Yeah. Yes.
Obviously there's a lot of hot trans men. I'm not saying like, have you ever met a hot trans man? I'm just saying, like, have you ever like been on a dating app and like met a trans man that you were like,
I did. I did not swipe, but I was very close. And I'm just being very honest, like very, very close. And I have the sad part, and this part hurts me. It's hard to admit, but like, I find women beautiful. I find them incredibly attractive. And I have tried to push myself over the, sexual edge, and it's never worked out for me. And I just always feel so bad, because I know it's like not kind to be the experimenter. I wouldn't want someone to experiment on me and then deny me or decline me in the middle of the act like that. It's really hurt me.
In the middle of the act?
In the middle of the act.
What did you do to her?
Nothing. Oh, so sad.
What did you do to her?
She should have.
I mean,
no, just kidding.
sexuality is complicated. You know, it's complicated. Like, I know when I was a little kid, I just always knew I was different. When I became, you know, in just whatever, my hormones and puberty and everything, like I met a girl when I was 15, 14, 15. She became my girlfriend. But then later in life, I thought I was bisexual and I dated men. I dated a few men. And God bless them. I'm so sorry. Anytime I tell people like I have dated men in my life, I am like, I am so sorry.
Because, and that's how I feel for even making out.
Well, because I just thought, I don't know. I thought I would try it and explore life. And I think that is a good thing. And I am happy that I did. And I knew that I was able to learn about myself from trying different skins that I lived in.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I have. And there's people who have never been that brave to have like lived outside of themselves or how do you put it? Just, I don't know. Like, I think I gave it a go. I knew there were things about it that I just did not like physically and that I was not attracted to sexually. And that's okay. That's just not me. And at least I can say, well, it's not like I never tried it.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say for my part,
sorry.
Until I actually had sexual intercourse around the age of 20, I don't think so for me, there was a moment where I was exposed to a boner, I think at the age of 13 or 12, something like that. It was definitely a little too soon, and it just made me allergic to the male gaze. And so when I was younger, I actually I was, I had long hair. I was a tennis player. I was very like athletic, but also very feminine. It was around the grunge era. And so I started just wearing like baggy clothes. I cut my hair super short. I was trying to just avoid the male gaze as much as humanly possible. And it wasn't until I was about 20 that I did embrace my femininity. So I don't think I really related as a woman for a lot of my formative years. Like I intended to just be as non-sexual as humanly possible. And then, I started getting more feminine around 20. And I met someone that changed my life at that point, and I'd fallen in love for the first time. So, and I felt safe. I think safety was the thing, but I think for me personally, and I think it's weird. I mean, not weird, but like harder to say now because I don't think anybody would believe it. But I feel like I was very gender neutral. For a long time.
Sure.
And that
that's interesting because you and I think throughout our 20s, were like opposite in that. Like for me during my 20s, so I was kind of like the awkward, weird punk lesbian, like whatever artist, nerd, shy kid. But in my 20s, I was a professional dancer. I was a showgirl. I was on stage in feather headdresses and lashes out to here and rhinestones and 6-inch heels and boom, boom, boom. I was like so hyper feminine. And I loved that time in my life. Like I loved that time period.
And you
But
look good.
I also
So
would, if I was going out for like a special event, I would wear like a man's tuxedo with stiletto heels and lipstick, very like I don't know, Marlene Dietrich, kind of 1920. I loved
with those eyebrows.
the gender bending kind of fashion and androgyny. But I always went around with that. I feel like I've been the most me gender identity wise, or not gender identity, but just like embracing my feminine and masculine both sides in the past, probably in the past like 6 years or something.
Yeah.
That I've like
I mean, you've told me some
really,
stories.
yeah.
You've told me some stories. I don't know if you want to talk about them, but like where you had been criticized for your hair or for.
No, we can start this story with that bitch was crazy.
That bitch was crazy.
That was crazy, and she wanted me to grow my hair and wear flower dresses.
No, and that's
No, but
never you.
I am attracted to feminine women, but I also am let's see. I'm attracted to many different types of women, and but at the same time, I don't think I can say, all right, here.
Lay it out.
If I was bisexual, which I thought I was in my 20s, which I found out I wasn't because I was like, didn't like it. I gave it a go, like, maybe. Tried, sorry. But that would have, being bisexual, you're attracted to a man or a woman, a cisgendered person. And then if you are more kind of open and I don't know. There's so many different terms that people use these days, but I've been attracted to definitely all different types of feminine representing people.
Yeah.
Feminine representatives. So that could also be a trans woman. That could also be somebody who's non-binary. That could be somebody, I just know like the one thing that I'm kind of like, is like beard, man, hairy, big, like,
I mean, me too, but
dude,
look at what's happening to me now.
I'm like, give me, I don't know. I just, but I change, but we change. Yeah. We change.
Because for me, the bearded lady is a weird paradigm for me, but here we are.
So maybe am I polyamorous? No,
you're not. I think
I just want to be alone.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about Amy, everybody, is that she wants to be alone.
This will be edited out. No, just
she also believes deeply in love and has had it several times. Many times a miss, other times a wonderful match. But things will align as they need to. And that's how I feel. Like I may never find my forever partner, but if I can enjoy love and be in love in moments, that's the win. And as long as I can express myself in ways that I'm not afraid of, like to be specific, my family, my brothers, when I was in that phase of denying the male gaze, it rhymes, it's a rap, I'm going to make it a song. But when I was in the phase of denying the male gaze, I looked like Velma. I looked like Velma.
She's now a lesbian.
She's a lesbian icon, which is so fun. But like I had the bowl cut, I had the glasses, I wore the big baggy sweater.
Did you have like a butternut squash colored turtleneck.
And the green skirt. Like I had the full look, the full look.
You were Velma. I
I
love
was
it.
Alma. And then they would make fun of me and I'd be like, Cheekies. So, but that was specifically to avoid looking and enticing and participating in the male gaze.
Yeah. I hear that. Do you have any cheers? I'm gonna just refresh on the bubs. Do you need more bubbles?
I'm all done. I'm almost done. So what's funny is I don't think I have any sense of where the camera is.
Mine's up here. Boom. God, my nails look like stubby little. You know what I wanted to do on our video here is I wanted to do my nails because you taught me you
press
told
on,
me to do press on nails, and I'm going to Vegas in a couple of weeks. I think it's like 18 days or something, or like 18 days. I'm going to Vegas, and I am going to be femme like you don't even know. Like,
man, I wish I could
I am femming out. I'm going to be doing nails, lashes, the whole heels. Like, I don't care. I just want to be in a kind of drag while I'm there.
A permanent glitter state.
Yeah. We're all born humans, right? The rest is drag.
That's all right. Who's that from? I forget.
Well, RuPaul did a version of that, but I changed it.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. No, but that's all right.
But yeah, it is
the truest philosopher.
We are born babies, I guess. But the rest is drag. But yeah, I'm gonna do nails, but when I just did this cheers, I feel like very stubby and very butchy.
Yeah, this is. Oh, look, there's no polish on this one. That's embarrassing. It's fine.
You have nice hands. You always have very nice hands. You have very feminine hands.
Oh, but do you know about this thing? I can't.
No.
These are permanently like this. But that's why it's funny because I always look like I'm just.
Is that on your dating profile?
Yeah, I should. That's actually I canceled all the
apps. You're appless. You are on 0 dating app. You've been on 10 and now you are on 0.
That's right.
What's the most that you spent on can I ask, on a dating app subscription?
So,
because there's people out there like,
Yeah, I think there was a time where I was like, I'm going to take this seriously. And like, I think the app.
You're like, but not Match.com seriously, but like kind of seriously.
Yes, but I think that's the thing. It's like, I'm a weirdo. I want weirdos. I want to find the right app for weirdos. Like, so Raya.
You need to just create our own app.
The weirdo app.
Raya's cheap. Raya's what, $10 a month, right?
$5. So like.
What's $5.99?
I think it was $5 for a while. So like that I didn't mind.
I think I was overpaying. Here I told you that like the only apps that I was on was Her, Okay Stupid, back in the day, like 10 years ago. And then Raya, I thought was like $10 a month.
Right. I did meet my personal favorite partner who was like a nightmare and I shouldn't have been with, but like in theory, my favorite on OkCupid. So.
Aw. You know what's funny about Raya though was like, well, I had 0 success, or I didn't. It was just weird for me. Mm-hmm. But you can like follow your people on Instagram, like they're real people at least. Mm-hmm. But if you do that filter where it's just like people in your neighborhood or area,
yeah, it's all your neighbors. Yes,
yeah,
it's everyone.
Like it's like our actual neighbors.
I know, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Like,
yeah,
I can see them. Can they see me?
Look, even though there's not that many people on Raya, I don't know what it is, but I can tell you 100%. I've been in the elevator with four, including you, not including you, 3 people from Raya.
Oh my God. Well, that's what's funny. Because of Raya, I realized one of our neighbors had moved away. So I'm like, I don't see him on there anymore.
The guy whose girl went to Brazil.
I hope he's okay. Yeah, dude.
That one.
That one.
We never watched this.
Precisely. No, he won't.
No, there's one on my
Yeah.
floor. There's a Raya on my floor.
Ooh.
Yeah. I haven't been on a dating app in a very long time. Probably 2019. I think 2019.
I'm just surprised that I'm even
After
at the
that
point.
that dumpster fire trash that I dated for a fucking minute. Ay, ay, ay. Look, we all make mistakes,
Wait,
but I
what's
did.
that?
I
Was that an
dated
app?
some.
No, that was real life, right?
That was IRL, yeah.
Yeah.
But and she was so jealous.
That was
And
not
so
healthy.
after our thing, then I went on, I guess, her and Raya, and it wasn't successful. So here's the thing.
But you tried.
I tried, but I just never got into it. I don't know. I just never could get into it. But some people are really fucking into it. They like the apps. You have shed some light here. Like you know how to use it and how to not, and
I will
what
say
the
I
good
don't like
stuff and the
them.
bad stuff. Do you have any other last minute? Yeah, we've been
Yeah.
on for an hour. Do you have any I'm probably going to edit out some me.
Yeah.
Do you have any crazy dating app stories for women to
All I will
hear
say
or
is
men?
watch your back. Such a weird thing to
Watch
say.
your back.
Because people can lie and people will lie, and especially in Los Angeles or New York for that matter. There are a lot of storytellers. And so one of the things I always say is you can't bullshit a bullshitter. So if you are a storyteller yourself, please beware of all of the techniques and talents that Los
Mhm.
Angeles storytellers may have. Having dated a lot of scriptwriters, a lot of producer director types, or people who say they are.
LA can be a little phony baloney.
Right. You think
Yeah.
that they're a writer, you think that they're an investor, and then you learn that they're a drug dealer. That's going to break your heart.
That happened.
That happened. I mean, it sucks, but yeah, just look, we're all susceptible. We're all dreaming of a great love.
You're like, we're all dreaming. I'm like,
Yeah.
of a
I know.
white Christmas.
You're like, I just want to be alone
I'm
and have
dreaming
my
of a
dog
white.
and watch some horror shows. That's you. But I want to hang out with my dog and
Yes.
my person and snuggle.
I know. Well, it's
Uh,
interesting. It is interesting to hear about all. If okay, I want to close up the conversation with, in case anyone cares, out of all the apps, which one is the ripoff, and which one is I'll give it another try.
yeah, I would say Tinder is the ripoff. They have
Oh,
no incentive to make you.
interesting.
Yeah, there's no incentive. Like if you think about it from a corporate standpoint, there's no incentive for you to actually fall for someone on Tinder. And I've heard about stories of people getting married off of Tinder, but there's no incentive. Like you can pay $15. They actually increased all the prices during
How
COVID.
much do they charge? I've never been on Tinder.
Ranges. I mean, I haven't been on it for 2 years ish because I quit during
Yeah.
pandemic. But I think it was like $15 and then it went up to 20.
What? That is
So
a ripoff. Fuck them.
Yeah, and it is
Okay,
free.
good. I thought Tinder was free. That's so much I know. But I mean,
it is free, but the time you're spending, like at a certain point, you're like, what's the time exchange
worth? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So the other hot tip, like Bumble, I've met a lot of the biggest scammers on Bumble, but like the guy who was married,
a wife, right?
Where I became buddies with his wife and like Nancy Drewed it to a guy who had like the little micro pee who was trying to assault me. And I did report him to Bumble, and Bumble did not support me in the reporting of him. They were like, we need more
this part
evidence.
we're keeping in the show. You reported somebody with a micro penis.
Yes. I reported him because of the micro penis. No, I reported him because he tried to assault me. because he showed up to the date wasted.
And did Bumble do something about it?
They said, we need more evidence. And I was like, that's some bullshit. Like, take the dude off because he's going to do it again. Yeah.
See, that's the part
Very
about apps that's like weird. Like nobody takes accountability.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing.
People
Even
can just be what they want to be and make up who they are and catfish and act like crazy people. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, more recently, again, like in LA, I've encountered a lot of men who are substance abusers, don't know how to handle their drugs and or are drug dealers. Like this is just the trend that I've seen. A lot of people are truly lying about what they are or who they are. And a lot of it, I don't think it's LA per se. I think it's just the culture of presentation. And as a person that works in marketing, you know, I feel lucky that I can see through some veneer, but I've been tricked so many times. So
wow.
Yeah. When all you want is love and affection, and somebody who's gonna like your dog and your cat's gonna like them.
Well, I am not going to go on any apps, but I am going to get another dog at some point. And so you'll know about that.
Dogs
and that
are the greatest
will
love.
make
Bravo!
me happy. I actually
I need
bravo!
Trevor to make a
My nephew.
bravo.
I actually am making a video. Oh, good. I get to see your plant. That cool artwork and plant.
Oh, there's a plant.
I'm actually making a video for In the Closet that is about when I used to take myself out on dates and how I really found true love taking myself out on dates.
Well, that's
And
another rude
it wasn't
statement.
just dates by myself, it was with my dog, but I want to just kind of by myself, just like talk through some of the really incredible dates that you can have when you're single and you can find true love dating yourself. But look at this little nugget face. I want to bite it from my camera. Can you put, this is Bravo. Can you put Bravo right up to the camera? Bravo. Oh my God. He's the best. That nose. That nose. Bravo, we love you so much. I love you so much.
So, yeah, because if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else? We're just here to quote RuPaul always.
Well, or not. But on that note, this has been fun.
He's tired.
This has been fun. And it's been a Monday and we're Relaxation Nation. We're not dressed up for this. You look, oh, look at the big yawn. You look amazing. You're stunning. You're fabulous. You're funny. You're smart. I love you so much. I'm so happy you're my friend, Maria. I will put all of your information in the description below so that people can find you and find out about you. And maybe if they maybe want to take you on a good date, now they know they have to like stand up to, stand up to it.
I'm open and available.
But this was fun. We know who's now getting screwed.
Oh, everybody. That's the fun part.
Everyone's getting screwed.
Whether you're getting
well, I love you so much. You're my friend. I adore you. I have this Halloweeny lighting and my champagne, and you have Bravo. And I will talk to you very soon.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you for coming in my closet.
I love you. Thank you for inviting me to the closet.
Bye, sweetie.